Basketball can be a tough sport to make your mark in, especially since you're supposed to be competing against the best of the best. In recent years, the competition has grown only stronger, with talents like Damian Lillard coming into the NBA. In today's video, we're going to take a look at the real reason why so many of his NBA colleagues hate playing against him. So let's begin. For those of you who might not know Damian Lillard, he's a professional basketball player who plays for the Portland Trail Blazers as a point guard. And after he was selected by the Trail Blazers in 2012 as part of the NBA draft, being the 6th pick, he was later voted as NBA Rookie of the Year. Needless to say, he had made an impressive entry into the NBA. Later on, he was nicknamed Dame Time. He was given this title after he made history by making big game-winning shots in the clutch. On top of that, he's also received multiple NBA All-Star selections, 6 to be precise, being one of 2 players in Trail Blazers history to be getting the honor of the All-Star selection. And with that kind of credentials, there's bound to be a bit of professional rivalry, or dare we suggest jealousy. But first, let's take a little review of Damian Lillard's performances over the years. Some of Damian Lillard's best moments. In his opening season, the Trail Blazers were up against the Lakers, led by the Mamba, Kobe Bryant. This team had won 2 championships in 3 years and were a formidable and intimidating opponent to clash off against. However, this is when Damian stole the spotlight, giving a mind-blowing performance. And bear in mind, he was still an NBA rookie, where he finished the night with 23 points and 11 assists, becoming the 3rd player in league history with at least 20 points, 10 assists in their debut since Oscar Robertson and Isaiah Thomas. This was foreshadowing his Hall of Fame career. In just his 2nd season in the league, he became the 1st player in league history to compete in each All-Star Weekend event. This includes the Rising Stars game, Skills Challenge, Dunk Contest, 3-point contest, and the All-Star game itself. Later on in 2014 was when Lillard was defined as a player. What happened was Chandler Parsons had just hit a reverse layup to give the team a 2-point lead with 0.9 seconds remaining. At that point, it seemed unlikely the Blazers could compete with them for the win. But leave it to Lillard to find a way. He sped past the double screen from Mo Williams and Wesley Matthews. He got wide open and drained the 3 at the buzzer to send Portland to the 2nd round for the first time in 14 years. Isn't that nuts? What may be regarded as the most memorable play of Lillard's career was also a masterstroke of a game. Just beautiful. On his way to a 37-foot sidestepping 3-point shot at the buzzer to claim the series over Paul George, delivered the greatest playoff performance in team history. He finished the night with 50 points and 10 3-pointers. The controversy surrounding Damian Lillard. For someone who's had such a spectacularly successful career, one that spans more than a decade, what could really be the reason for all the hate that he gets? And while hate may be a strong word, it is apparent that there's a certain dislike for him, especially from his own colleagues, and this might not be related to how good of a player he is, because even in a sphere of professional rivalry or jealousy for that matter, there's still a certain amount of respect for the one you're playing against. But what has changed? Well, it seems that the controversy stems from Lillard's comments on not wanting to be in a super team, and how he would never even think about joining in. His reasoning for this is perhaps Lillard's loyalty to the Trail Blazers, where he signed a 4-year Supermax extension with them, as opposed to opting to go play on a team that has all the high-class star players one can have, one that's bound to win all the titles and trophies. But newsflash, it seems he doesn't want to play with the cream of the crop. He wants to grind it out with the others. What exactly did he say? In an era where every athlete is lured in by the concept of a big check and being on the better side, Lillard stays true to his athletic integrity. In an interview with $1 million worth a game, Damian Lillard explained why he won't be joining a super team during his NBA career. He has openly said that he would never do that. The star continued to say, I don't control. If the team decides to trade me somewhere, I can't control that, but it ain't for me. He also says that this particular structure is forcing players to go and stick with a certain crowd to win titles instead of working on improving their own game individually. Lillard added, but to me, if that's what they want to do, I don't got no problem with it. It's whatever. But for me personally, that's just not something I can do. I'd rather go out there and put my best foot forward and lose before I do that, because I know I can win if I do that. It's safe to say that he'd rather test himself than go for a guaranteed win, which is admirable, but some players would like to disagree. What are the NBA community's 2 cents? Sometime back, ESPN host Dan Orlovsky went on to call Damian Lillard a spoiled and entitled brat for saying he wouldn't participate. He had a mouthful to say regarding him, saying that Damian Lillard suddenly speaks out as if he's Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant or LeBron James, like he's a superstar. What have you done? Show me the credentials whereby you can say, I'm above that. That's beneath me. Shannon Sharp, the co-host of Bayless, also had some things to say. To sum it up, he basically just said that because you're an esteemed player in the league and have a podium that the NBA gave you, that doesn't mean you should go on to say everything. To say that I'm not going to come out and play in meaningless games. You played 66 meaningful games that you turned into meaningless games by the way your team played. That's a bit harsh, if we might say. Interestingly enough, the players themselves didn't have a lot to say, which means that they probably don't don't have a problem with what Lillard has to say. As the saying goes, a man becomes a critic when he cannot be an artist. Of course, they'll be looking to punch down on an actual player. But perhaps the real reason so many NBA players hate playing against Damian Lillard is not because of some internal politics, but because of how good he is. During his astounding performance in the game against the Denver Nuggets, in which he scored 55 points, Lillard became the first player in NBA playoff history to score 55 points with double-digit assists, and all his peers were losing their marbles, but in a good way. What the NBA players think of Damian Lillard. Like we just mentioned above, the other NBA players are people who actually respect him, and be it an NBA rookie or a veteran, it's everybody. Kevin Durant has even gone on to publicly say that watching Damian Lillard is almost like a spiritual experience because of his style of play. Other A-listers like Kobe Bryant and Steph Curry have similar notions too, with both of them saying that it's just hard to stop Damian. And perhaps his first match against the Lakers, Kobe Bryant was taken aback, but pleasantly. He said that Damian Lillard certainly didn't look like a rookie, and that it was hard to find an answer for the fresh point guard's antics. He further continued to say that a man is as serious as good, and that he's the whole package, having the 3-ball to mid-range. And if having Kobe saying that wasn't enough of a compliment for a rookie that's just starting out, Kobe also said that they had to go after him hard, and that he himself gave the whole team a run for their money. What more could be said about how good Damian Lillard is? Meanwhile, if we talk about others, there are people like Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Zach LaVine, Donovan Mitchell, and numerous other NBA players that went on a Twitter frenzy after he scored 55 points in one game, setting the record for most three-pointers in an NBA playoff game. And so, we deduce that the real reason players hate playing against Damian Lillard is that they're aware of his skill set, his court IQ, and also of the fact that chances are they're going to lose to the Portland Trail Blazers until Damian Lillard is off their roster. And that's all we have for today, folks. If you liked the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and press the subscribe button. Oh, and if you want a notification when the next one comes out, all you need to do is press the bell icon. Until then, goodbye.